Unity Church of Tidewater, the modern home of practical Christianity, presents another dynamic, timeless, relevant, and inspirational message by Reverend Joyce Kramer. May you be inspired and uplifted. And now, Reverend Joyce Kramer.
Happy New Year. This new year can become a wonderful year of new accomplishments and achievement. This results from letting go of old ways of thought and belief and moving into an expanded vision of life and living. A dynamically powerful life results. Does this sound interesting to you? Would you like to become a creative, dynamic, and effective person? If so, you can. Abraham Lincoln once said, "I have been driven to my knees many times by the overwhelming conviction I had nowhere else to go." This is likely true for each of us at one time or another. We have turned to God when we could no longer cope with outer events and circumstances. However, it would be better if we were to realize that we ought to pray first, even before things get so out of hand. We may have been engrossed in hopelessness and despair, and have found ourselves praying and crying out to God for help. Through our desperation, we have sensed His presence and have been comforted for a time. Soon it is likely that we begin to wonder just how God would be able to do anything about our need. We found it difficult to leave things in God's hands, for we look this way and that. We see no possible way out of our dilemma. Yet as we look back, we find that something did happen that eventually led to good for us. Perhaps we need to come to the realization that one young man did. He said, "I have realized that for many years I have had only a part-time God. When things were going well for me, I thought little about God, for I was doing pretty good on my own. Even when trouble came, it would get to a desperate stage before I would remember that I ought to turn to God." All too many people see prayer as a last resort, and thus God becomes relegated to the sidelines until an emergency or tragedy strikes. As with this young man, he did not yet see God as a vital, dynamic presence, but more as a glorified lifesaver to use when all else failed. How unfortunate that we have not seen God as a living reality. This would keep us in turn from so frequently reaching the desperate stage, for we would be living in a conscious awareness of the presence of the powerful, dynamic Spirit of God in our daily affairs. In the book of Isaiah, it is suggested that we loosen the bands of wickedness, undo the heavy burdens, and let the oppressed go free. This deals not just with attitudes toward another person. It should be related to ourselves. The bands and yokes that hold us back are our own negative thoughts and attitudes. These include our fears and worries, our doubts and insecurities, our depressed or hopeless feelings. Man is not meant to be bound by misunderstanding and wrong thoughts and feelings. He is to live in a right relationship with God, who is the source of all good. The oppressed we are to let free is our inner spiritual unlimited self. The real you is that creative, dynamic Spirit of God within, your spiritual potential. This spirit is held back, oppressed when we are bound by the world of negation and wrong thought. When we give the Spirit of God in us free rein, it's amazing the possibilities for good that begin to blossom and come forth into reality. We are also told by the prophet Isaiah that the result of loosening the bands of wickedness and undoing the heavy burden and letting the oppressed go free, he writes, "Then shalt thou call on God, and he will answer, and thou shalt cry, and he will say, Here I am." Jehovah God will guide thee continually, and satisfy thy soul in dry places, and make strong thy bones, and thou shalt be like a watered garden, and a spring of water whose waters fail not. And they that shall be free of thee shall build up the old waste places. They shall raise the foundation of many generations, and thou shalt be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of paths to dwell in. What possibilities for your new year exist? Just think of what God can do through you when you allow him to become a vital, living presence. Then thy light shall spring forth as the morning, and thy healing shall spring forth speedily, and thy righteousness shall go before thee. The glory of Jehovah shall be thy reward. This is a wonderful promise that we can fulfill when we go into action and help it come to pass. It won't if we just sit back and think about it or worry about it. The first action we must change is to change our thoughts and beliefs about ourselves. So long as we believe ourselves to be limited, unworthy, incompetent, or undeserving, we cannot receive the good that God is providing for us. Every person born into the world is a victim of all the strange beliefs lodged in human consciousness. These beliefs give power to people, to things, and conditions. Our acceptance of these beliefs makes us victims to them. Pay attention to the idea that no matter what experience you may be presently going through, there is no need to stay there or to remain as you are. Someone once wrote, "Man is what he thinks, not what he says, reads, or hears, and by persistent action he can change any experience he is in." Isn't it great to know that by persistent effort you can change any experience in which you find yourself? You have within you the mental, physical, spiritual capacity to improve. You have the mental capacity to improve your opinion of yourself, plus the incentive to step forward. Through your mind you can receive divine guidance and wisdom. You have the mental and physical capacity to take whatever action you need to take. You have the spiritual capacity to overcome all circumstances, to put on the nature of God, the Christ, and thus make your outer world a reflection of God's greatness and goodness. Nowhere in the world are there powers as great as those which lie within man, including you. The great strength of man is in the resources of his inner kingdom of mind and heart. Used wisely, the resources of the kingdom of God within will transform our individual lives and bring untold blessings. The wonderful statement, "My mind is my kingdom, I use it wisely," should be accepted and acted upon. So what needs have you that you want to fulfill? Are there areas in your life that you would like to improve, goals you want to reach? There is a plan you can use. It's very simple, it is direct, and it is positive. It works if you will work with it. You can apply this plan in your life in order to have your needs and wants fulfilled, your goals achieved. You can have a wonderful year. First, you must desire improvement enough to do something about it. Write down your desires. This need only be for your own eyes, but it's important to write down your specific desires so you can become very clear about what you want. Although this may not seem necessary to you, do it anyway if you want to improve. Be specific and direct. Writing down not only helps to clarify your desires, it helps establish it clearly in your mind in any way that just thinking about it does not. Second, read what you have written each night and morning, preferably aloud. Read it thoughtfully. As you read, become alert for any guidance about what you are to do. Remember that you are working with God to bring about right, loving fulfillment of the dreams of your heart. Third, write a simple statement that indicates that the desire is being fulfilled. Use this as an affirmation that you commit to memory so you can write it on your heart. Think of it often during your day. Say the affirmation silently or audibly, whatever seems appropriate. Do not be afraid that you're asking for too much. Jesus promised that it is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Fourth, think about the fulfillment of your desires instead of the apparent obstacles. If the thought of obstacles or even delays come to mind, use your affirmations to counteract these negatives. Let your thoughts return to the fulfillment of your dreams. A statement from Proverbs reads, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." The heart includes the feeling nature. The more you set the idea in your mind, the more quickly the feeling of its fulfillment will be yours. Fifth, do what you can right in your present circumstances. Don't wait until everything is right. Begin to do anything that would lead you closer to the fulfillment of your desires. When things come to mind, start taking them one at a time, follow through to their completion. Begin. Take that first step. Prepare inwardly and outwardly for the fulfillment of your desires. In other words, you must be ready to receive the goods you would like to have. Don't wait until everything is right to begin, for it will likely not ever be. Just begin wherever you are to move towards your goal fulfillment. If you take time daily for meditative thoughts, you will discover that there are things you can do right now. Instead of letting the thought get away from you, write it down so you will be sure to do it. Contrary to the beliefs of many, we can extend far beyond our expected capacities. We can do more, be more, and accomplish more, but to do so, we must start. 6. Claim your good and press on toward fulfillment. The source of your need or desire is God. Therefore, it's logical to think that God will fulfill what He has started. As God has implanted the desire within you, so does He provide everything you need for its fulfillment. So be persistent in prayer and action. All too often we give up before we really get anywhere. It isn't usually one with the extraordinary talent that fulfills his goals, but one who persists and doesn't give up at the sign of an obstacle. Also, keep your mind open for farther insight into your goals. Because of limited thinking, we sometimes do not interpret our desires rightly. So often our goals end up being much greater than they started out to be. That's good, for it indicates we are in tune with the progressive movement of God's Spirit. Avoid looking to others for the fulfillment of your desires. Others may indeed help you, but not necessarily those people you think should help you, or even those people that you presently know. Leave the choice of channels through which God will work up to God. Do not try to define them. God's good will come to you and through you in perfect ways. Do not try to force things or force others to do your will. What you get by force, you will only keep through force. That's not very desirable. There is a better way to go, God's way. In God's way, things unfold in a natural, orderly, and harmonious manner without stress or strain. The seventh step, the last step, is to give thanks. Watch for and give thanks when any evidence of good presents itself. In fact, it is good to give thanks for the ordinary things in life that we take for granted. The building of a grateful attitude naturally attracts more good to you. Give thanks for the fulfillment of your desires even before there is outer evidence. Give thanks denotes acceptance of that which is desired. This 7-step plan really works if you will use it and work with it. Plan for a wonderful new year and meaningful accomplishments. Plan to have a dynamic and powerful new year. This is your year to do with exactly what you will. And consider the words from the poem, This is the Year. Wonderful, wonderful, fortunate you. This is the year that your dreams come true. This is the year that your ship comes in. This is the year you find Christ within. This is the year that you are glad to live. This is the year you have much to give. This is the year when you know the truth. This is the year when you find new youth. This is the year that brings happiness. This is the year you will live to bless. Wonderful, wonderful, fortunate you. This is the year that your dreams come true. This beautiful poem by Russell Kemp is one that you can use every day during your coming year.
We hope that you have enjoyed this inspirational message on practical Christianity from Unity Church of Tidewater, 5580 Shell Road, Virginia Beach, Virginia, 23455. Our services begin at 11 a.m. every Sunday, or, if it is more convenient, please visit our website at www.unitychurchoftidewater.com. Thank you and have a blessed day.